Hello boys and girls, hope you're doing well in lockdown, and I hope that you're doing well at home and that you're not terrorizing your parents too much, or that everything is working out for you and you're not missing your friends too much. Today I want to tell you a story about Johnny and the bees. Now, first of all, before we start, I want you to tell me, what is the difference between a bee and a wasp? Okay, so some of you might say, well, Matthew, a wasp is bigger than a bee, which is correct. And a bee has many more jobs than a wasp might have. Okay, he or she has to look after her queen and make sure that her queen is fed and looked after to the best of their abilities. Their whole life revolves around this queen. But one of the main differences between the bee and the wasp is that when it stings you, a bee dies. But when a wasp stings you, it can still sting you again. So a wasp is a little bit more dangerous than a bee. Okay. What attracts bees the most is fruit and a lot of flowers. Okay, so what their job is to do is to pollinate. It's a big word called pollinate. Okay, so they pollinate the fruit and they pollinate the flowers. Okay, so once upon a time, on a farm, there was a big orchard like this, all these lovely apples that you see here. Okay, and in the valley, there lived a little boy called Johnny. Now Johnny loved apples. He loved apples so much that he would eat them for breakfast, lunch and supper. Okay, so Johnny thought, I feel like having some apples today. And I know that there's an orchard not too far away, just there on that hill. Okay, Johnny thought, those apples, I can make lovely apple pie, and I can have lots of apples for school and lots of apples whenever I feel like it. But Johnny's dad said, Johnny, you're not allowed to have those apples. There are bees up there, and the bees guard their apples just as much as they guard their queen. Okay, so you must be very careful not to go up there, because if you go up there, the bees are going to sting you. Do you think Johnny listened? No. Johnny went up there and he went into the tree and he thought, I'm going to have some lovely apples to eat. What Johnny thought, he knew there was bees there. What he did was, he took his jersey, he pulled it over his face, he made little holes in his jersey so that just his eyes could peek out. So if the bees came, they would stick into the jacket and they won't get to him. So he thought, I'm too clever for the bees. So Johnny started climbing the trees of the orchard. Climbing, he took this apple, threw off the pip, threw out all the corsi and threw it off. And then he started the next one. Oh, Johnny was enjoying himself so much. When Johnny climbed the next tree, he stepped on something very dangerous. He stepped on a beehive filled with angry bees and angry wasps that saw Johnny and they said, let's sting him. And Johnny started running. And he started running down the mountain. And he ran. And this bee came here and stung him on the head. Boink! And stuck him on the arm. Ding! And one stuck him here in his armpit. Oh, go up there. And one stuck him on his leg. Boom! And one stuck him here right by the eye. And in his nose. And all over his body. When Johnny came home, the next morning, Johnny was all swollen. His eyes were so closed because he couldn't open them because they were so swollen. The bees had stung him all over his face, as you can see here. Oh, he was in so much pain. Do you think his daddy was happy with him? No ways. His daddy said, I think you've learned your lesson, haven't you, Johnny? Are you going to go back up there to those orchards and eat all those apples without supervision? No, said Johnny. No chance. He was in too much pain and he had learned a very, very hard lesson. So So what I want you boys and girls to learn from this lesson is, one of the main things you must learn is, listen to the people who love you because they care for you and want to protect you, just like Jesus does for us. So when you think back to when you feel like, I don't want to listen to mommy, I don't want to listen to daddy, just remember the story, because the people that love you want the best for you and they want everything for you. Thank you, boys and girls, for listening. Have a good day further.